Hey tarot friends, it's Dustin from A Modern Metaphysic Man, and today I thought we could hang out and take a trip through my top 5 Oracle decks from 2019. I know I'm a little late with this video, I apologize for that. January literally escaped me. I don't even know what happened, but let's dive in. These are my top 5 decks, much in the same manner that I did my top 5 tarot, meaning that these are all decks that were released in 2019 that I really connected with. If you haven't checked out my top 5 tarot decks from 2019, I will put a link to it somewhere up over in here, so be sure to check that out as well. So, coming in at number 5 is the 18 Oracle by Colin Campbell. This deck is not in print yet. I got this deck from Colin when I created a custom box for his new deck, the Ocean Dry Tarot, that he's also working on. He sent this out to a few other people as a giveaway from his Instagram page, and I'll be sure to link his YouTube channel and his Instagram in the description box below, so be sure to check that out. But this deck, I'm not sure if he's planning on printing it. I'm not even sure what he's planning on doing with it, but it's a great little Oracle deck. The 18 Oracle, by its name, only 18 cards. It's fantastic. It's a really great little deck. I love his art style and his use of color in this. It's very whimsical. It's really great. The cards are fantastic. If you haven't checked out his Ocean Dry Tarot, he has this obsession with color, which is really fantastic. Interestingly enough, there's very sparse use of color in this deck, which I don't know, I really love. I love this card, but it's just a really great little intuitive deck when you need like a quick little message to sort of round out a reading. That being said, most of you know, and if you don't know, my use of oracles, I typically don't do full oracle readings unless it's Lenormand, but I will do like a clarification card or sort of a final message card in my readings with oracle decks. So I don't have a huge oracle collection because of that, but I do, when I do see oracle decks that I really resonate with, I'll snag them up. So that's my number 5 deck. In at number 4, this is a deck that I was super excited about towards the end of the year, which is the Enigma deck by Daniel Martin Diaz. Daniel Martin Diaz is a fantastic occult artist. He has some fantastically amazing art. Again, links will be in the description box below. If you haven't checked out this deck, it's super cool. It has like this retro, like Cold War vibe to the cards and the art style. This is also a game, so he's created game boards for this as well. So it's really cool. So the instructions to the game are on one side of the instruction card, and then the divinatory meanings are on the other. This deck's really inexpensive. You can pick it up on Amazon really cheap. I'll put a link to that in the description box below as well. But yeah, it's super cool. The thing I love about it is it leans a little towards the dark side, so it's not super light and fluffy rainbows and unicorns, as you can see, which really resonates well with me. I don't like overly light washed decks per se. So this is a fantastic deck. The artwork is just fantastic. It's so unique. I haven't really seen anything like this in a long time. There is a full set of moon cards in this deck as well, so if you want to track the moon with it, you can do that. But yeah, it's such a cool and unique deck. I really love it, and I have done a full walkthrough of this, and I'll be sure to link that as well in the description, and maybe I'll put it up over there somewhere. So yeah, that is my number 4 deck. Coming in at number 3, last year really seemed to be the year of all of the astrology decks. We had tons of astrology decks come out, and my favorite one, as we all know, I love astrology, right? Huge astrology fan. We've done a series on the channel about how to read your own natal chart. If you're interested in that, check that out. But yeah, the Living Wheel astrology cards. I love this little deck. It's an amazing little astro deck. First of all, the print quality on it is exceptional. It's so good. This deck is just amazing. I absolutely love it. And I'll put a link to where you can grab it and all that fun stuff down in the box. But as you can see, there are cards for all of the houses, right? So we have lots of cards for the houses. We have cards for each of the signs, and it's their constellation, which is fantastic, right? Gemini. We have moon phase cards. We have planetary cards, Saturn, which are awesome. The artwork is awesome. We have eclipse cards, which are super cool and not very common. We also have, of course, a full set of moon phase cards to track all the moon phases. And then we also have sort of these seasonal cards, which also correspond to houses in the Wheel of the Year, which is fantastic. So it's a really great little deck to sort of, it's gilt, which I really love. The backs are really nice. It's a little great deck to kind of lay out sort of a chart if you want to look at it in a different way, to kind of see how things relate in that. It is really cool. The one thing I have yet to see in astrology decks that would be really cool is some way of representing aspects with a card, because I think aspects are really important in astrology, and I've yet to see a deck that includes aspects. So if you're making an astrology deck and you're watching this, aspects, what do you guys think? Aspects? Do we want aspect cards? I think that'd be cool. So that is my number 3 deck. My number 2 deck is by a creator who I have adored for a long time, Marie Bento. Her decks are fantastic. They always come in these squishy little like zip bags, which are pretty cool. And the way she prints her decks is like one of my favorites. The cardstock is amazing. It's always this really luscious, buttery, sort of linen cardstock. I adore this deck. If you got one of my special limited edition Samhain readings that I did over Samhain time, this was the Oracle deck I used for those readings. This deck is awesome. It has a really good balance of light and dark. It is a collage deck, so there's a lot of vintage imagery used in this deck, but it's really beautiful. There's a lot of really great sort of messages and ideas in here. Oh, we got upside down card. Messages and ideas in here. I really love it. It's been one of my go-to decks this year for readings, and for like final messages and things like that. It's awesome. It's so fantastic. The backs are really nice, as you can see. The guidebook is amazing. She does a fantastic job with all of her guidebooks. So if you haven't checked out her stuff yet, it is awesome. She sells on Etsy. Again, link will be in the description box below if you want to grab one. I highly recommend it. And then coming in at number 1 is the Kim Cran's Wild Unknown Archetypes deck. So when I was going through my Oracle decks and trying to pick out the decks for this video, I was so torn about what I wanted for number 1. It was honestly between these two. But there was something about the uniqueness of this that bumped it into number 1 spot. And because Kim Cran's artwork is just, I don't know, there's something about it that I love. I love it so very much. The cool thing about this deck is it is round, obviously, as you can all see. It comes in this nice little box. I was really surprised and amazed at how well the packaging for this was for a mass-produced deck. And you can get this pretty inexpensively, I think, on Amazon as well. So I'll be sure to put that in the description box below. But it's just, first of all, it's chunky monkey. It's a really great, thick, beautiful deck. I love the design on the backs, which is like this kind of diamond crystal-y style of cards. It's fantastic. Again, a really good balance of light and dark in this deck. I love how the round cards you can kind of build spreads around them, which is really cool. I've actually used this for significators a lot of times when I'm kind of like looking for information about like an archetype, right? Like you know, the Eternal Child is on the top here because I did a Inner Child spread with this as the significator. But there's just some really cool art and really cool archetypes in this deck that I've not really seen in a lot of other decks, which is cool. And they're going to be like every which way because I've shuffled this, so I apologize for that. But it's a beautiful deck, and I love her artwork. It is fantastic. The Wild Unknown is like one of my go-to decks quite often. People really love it here when I read in public. And so this just goes so well with it for obvious reasons, right? But yeah, I don't know. There's just something about this deck that when I got it, I was like, oh, this is amazing. This is like, it works for me so well. So yeah, I really recommend it. There's some really cool concepts in this, and they're not all like people archetypes, which I really like. Like there's the Dead End, right, which I think is just such a really cool concept when people feel stuck, right, and like you can't move forward, and really you just kind of have to push through, right, that kind of thing. So there's some really cool things in here that you don't see a lot in other decks. So I really love this deck. If you haven't checked it out yet, you should totally be sure to check it out. I've not done a review of this yet. It is on my list. I am working very diligently to make my schedule better for doing deck reviews and getting more consistent videos out for all of you. So those are my top 5 Oracle decks for 2019. I would personally love to hear what your top 5 decks were for 2019 and what you think about my selections for this year. Just to go through them really quickly one last time. In number 5, we have The 18 Oracle by Colin Campbell. This, again, is not currently in print. I'm not sure what Colin's plans are for this. If you really want one, you might be able to con him into getting one, but all of his info will be down below. At number 4, we have the Enigma Oracle, a really cool, inexpensive deck available on Amazon. Number 3, we have the Living Wheel Astrology cards, my favorite astrology deck of 2019, hands down. And number 2, we have Marie Bento's Divine Muses Oracle, an amazing deck. This thing is so freaking good. I can't even, like, you guys have to get this one. And at number 1, the Wild Unknown Archetypes deck. If you haven't gotten this, if you haven't checked it out, you got to do it. It's so unique. It's so unique, and it's so full of amazing, intuitive, light and dark, well balanced key archetypes, concepts. And the thing that, again, that I love about it the most is that they're not all people, which I really love. So yeah, let me know down below what you think, what your favorite Oracle deck of 2019 is. What Oracle do you just absolutely love the most? I would love to know, because my Oracle collection is very small compared to most people's. So, you know, I love hearing your suggestions. As always, in the description box down below, you'll find all of my contact information where you can reach out and connect with me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and of course my personal website where you can book a reading with me if you would like one of those. I appreciate all of your guys' love and support. It means the world to me. You guys are the best community out there. Thank you all so much, and remember, everyone is fighting a battle that you know nothing about, so be kind, always. Bye, everybody.